So welcome in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the various levels of NLP training and some of the certification boards here in the UK. Hi, I'm Laura Evans and I help people like you to unleash their potential in business and life. And this is the second video in the mini-series that supports the guide that I've created called The Ultimate Guide to Selecting the Best NLP Course for You. If you haven't already downloaded it, you'll find the link in the comments below. So go ahead and download that. And in the playlist, you'll find the other videos in this mini series. If this is the first time that you found me here on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time we release a new video. Now, in this video, I'm going to start off by talking about the various levels in NLP. Now, there are introductory level courses. So these are workshops, sometimes called introductions to NLP, sometimes called diplomas. And these courses are designed to give you a really good insight into NLP, enable you to dip your toe into the water and really start to explore some of the practical application of NLP for you personally. There's no prior knowledge needed to come on these courses, and we no longer deliver these live. They're all now online courses because I think that for introductory level, online is absolutely fine because you're not being certified to do any techniques with other people. You're just learning about yourself and having some tools that you could use yourself. Now, if you want an introduction, then this type of level is probably going to be right for you. One other thing to say on introductory courses is it's a great opportunity to check out the trainer, and no one should be ashamed of saying that. If you want to check out the trainer and you want to see their style, their take on things, then introductory level courses are a great way to do that. So if we take, for example, our introduction to NLP coaching, I filmed that live in the training room. So you can sit at home in your office, on a beach, anywhere you like that you've got Wi-Fi, and you can get a really good feel for me, my style, and whether I'm the type of person you want to sit in front of for 7 days for your practitioner course. So sometimes people use those introductory courses for that reason. Then you've got the first certified level of training, which is the practitioner. So regardless of which board you train under or which NLP training provider, generally speaking, the course progression ladder goes practitioner, first certified level, master practitioner, second level, certified trainer, which is what I am, that enables you to train practitioner and master practitioner, and then master trainer, which you only ever really need to do if you want to train certified trainers. So that's not going to be relevant for most people watching this video. So introductory levels I've talked about. So practitioner is the first certified level. Again, no prior knowledge is needed for this course. Just an attitude of curiosity and a willingness to learn is all you really need. And the certified practitioner course will not only give you personal development, so it'll actually enable you to get rid of some limiting beliefs, get rid of some internal conflict, learn things like anchoring and practical tools that you'll use yourself, but actually it also certifies you to use the tools with someone else. So if you're looking to become a therapist, a coach, or using NLP with other people, you're going to need insurance. You won't get insurance if you've done an introductory course, but you will if you do the certified levels of training, the practitioner being the first one. There are varying lengths of NLP practitioner courses. The old school model usually was upward of 21 days. What happened was they realised that, expecting people to take 20 odd days out of their calendar was just unrealistic. So Tad James, the head of the ABNLP that I train under, was the first to pioneer what they call intensive courses. And so what they did was take some of the theory out of the live training, put that into PreCourse Study, typically audios or videos. So you start to acquire some of the foundation knowledge before you come on the course, and then you do 7 days of much more practical application. So that's basically the evolution of those. There are still some trainers out there that offer the longer courses. Typically they're like 1 weekend a month and things like that. And they take a lot longer to do. So you'll probably find that it takes about maybe 6-9 months to qualify as an NLP practitioner. Some people like the incremental, learn a bit, implement a bit, learn a bit. For me, I prefer the more immersive training. Let's get on. You see, the problem is with modular training is you often end up wasting a lot of time, because let's say you do a 2-day weekend and then you go off for a month and come back for another 2-day weekend. Like, you've got to spend the first half of the first day getting back into the groove, getting back into it. Whereas when you do it in a more immersive style, like, you're incrementally layering in the knowledge session after session, day after day. And so for me, I prefer personally the more immersive training. So yeah, there's people that I know, for example, that split the 7 days into 2 blocks of 4. And again, that extra day typically is catching up at the first half of the first day of the second section. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, be very wary of 7-day courses that have no pre-course study, because the problem with those is you've only got 7 days. And with those, people arrive on day 1 with varying levels of knowledge of NLP. And so that can become quite challenging. If everybody's done pre-course study, then everybody tends to arrive on day 1 with the same foundation of theoretical knowledge, and then everybody builds from there. So that's what I decided to do when I was looking for an NLP practitioner course. That was the route I went down, and is also the route that I now train. Some providers will also offer you the opportunity to do other certifications at the practitioner level. So for example, hypnosis, NLP coaching, timeline therapy, and they're still practitioner level, but they're just additional disciplines, additional tools to put into the toolkit. And certainly that's the model that we offer here at Unleash Your Potential. When you've done the practitioner level, then you're going to be moving on to the master practitioner level. So this is where people will spend usually 14 days, sometimes a bit less, sometimes a bit more, in terms of acquiring the more advanced NLP techniques, things like values and meta programs, and some of the more advanced linguistical change techniques people will acquire at this level. My advice to people is always, if you're looking to make NLP an income for you, part or full time, and you're looking to turn this into a profession, you probably really should be considering going on to that master practitioner level, so that you've got the full toolkit that someone like myself would use one-to-one with clients, so that you can do the most transformational change with the client, the most long-lasting change, and really make a difference. On some master practitioner courses like ours, you get the opportunity to do a one-to-one, start to finish coaching intervention, so that can be really useful for embedding and applying the knowledge. So some of them will do that also. Now, I'm not going to go into the trainer and master trainer levels. There's information in your manual. If you want to have a look at it, then you're very welcome to. One thing I will say is sometimes I get asked the question, when I'm doing my practitioner course, am I better being trained by a certified trainer or a certified master trainer? You don't need a master trainer for your practitioner and master practitioner training. The only real difference between trainer and master trainer is that the master trainer is allowed to certify other trainers. What you really want to do is focus on getting a trainer who you like, that you warm to, you like their personality, and most importantly, that's got a bag of experience using NLP in the area that you're looking to use it in. That is way more important. So at practitioner and master practitioner level, do you need a master trainer? No, you don't. You need an experienced trainer, so someone like myself, who has got experience to be able to share with you. Now, very quickly then, before we move on, I just want to talk about the certification boards. Again, there's a whole page here in your workbook, a guide all around this. Essentially, here in the UK, there are 4 main governing bodies. So NLP, like many other industries, like hypnotherapy, coaching and so on, are unregulated. So what that means is self-regulation is the way that the industry works. And there are 4 different main governing bodies. Now, to be clear and transparent, there are more than 4. There are a number of much smaller boards here in the UK. And so there are others around, but my advice to you is stick to what I call the big 4. Now, I've written out here in your guide a little bit of information about the practitioner course training for each of these boards. And I've also put a link in where I could find one so that you can check out the standards required via the various boards. So check out the guide. All the details are in here. I'm an NLP trainer. That's the certification governing body I work under. So they require, for example, a minimum of 120 training hours for your certification. An ELTA as well. Again, they're typically the longer courses. Again, they require 130 hours of teaching. Then you've got the Association of NLP. That's a UK-based board, whereas ABNLP and ANELPTA are international boards. The ANLP is UK based, and they have their own criteria, so a minimum of 50 hours face-to-face training and a few other bits and bobs. And then you've got the Society of NLP. Although it was the original board set up by Richard Bandler, they don't require PreCourse Study, and the training I estimate to be in around 50 hours in total. So again, you've got to question, if you've only got 7 days and everybody's turning up with different knowledge, what that might mean for the course itself. So there it's a bit of an overview of the levels and how NLP industry is structured, and also some of the governing bodies. In the third video, I'm going to talk about how you should go about selecting a provider and a trainer, and I'm going to take you through the handy checklist which I've created to help you pick the best course for you. So stay tuned for video 3.